Hi, welcome to Oracle of Shadows. I'm Shell, your host. This is episode 1. We're going to be dismantling illusions, calling shadows to the surface. This is not your love and light, spiritual bypassing podcast. This is where we are going to go deep into the things that people are hiding because the wounds are so deep, so karmic, so multidimensional that for some people they're just not ready to face them. And I'm not even going to go into specifically people as much as even the collective, because the collective shadow speaks quite loudly as well. And I'm not one to do like collective energy situation because I believe in sovereignty. However, there we are energy, and energy magnetizes. And when enough powerful humans believe in the same thing, they project the same simulation, and it creates energy, and it materializes into exactly that, shadows. So this is your podcast where I take my lived experiences, which are absolutely endless, and I bring them here, and I bring them front and center so I can dissect myself. And my intention is to support others as they're also navigating this elevation, because elevation occurs when we expand, when we go through the tunnel of awareness and we take radical self responsibility. Expansion happens. On the other hand, it happens even when you don't take the responsibility. It just expands into a collective of a situation that for me I'm not interested in anymore. So this is why I'm starting this podcast. I'm not interested anymore in being palatable. And as someone who has a strong voice and a strong belief in truth, it's shocking even for me to know that I have been playing small. And I wrote a book. It's called The Shadow Work Bible. That was my second book. It's about my experiences here in Costa Rica. I've been here almost 6 years to the day. And in those 6 years, 3 different times, I have looped into a karmic cycle of unworthiness, of believing that I am not capable of holding the legacy that is Seva, where I live in Costa Rica, the project that I guard and the land that I steward here. This is my mission. And when I recognized this just recently, like yesterday, when I recognized that the reason I am in the current situation that I am in the shadow that I'm processing, and with this people that I am, is because I didn't believe in myself. I was shocked. But the truth is, I outsourced my power. I outsourced my legacy because I didn't believe that I could hold it all at the strength that I am, at the level of intensity that I am. My medicine isn't love and light. My medicine is not sugarcoating. What it is like radical honesty and holding boundaries, because I have my ego. Getting water on my computer. I'm gonna move over here. Oh, because my ego. This is another thing with this podcast. I will be filming when I can. I'm a mama, and so when I get the time, I'll film. It's not going to be pretty, but the message is going to be fire. So when I recognized that, let me just tell you what I did. When I first moved here, it was with a woman, and she had a larger following on social media, and Mama Michelle didn't exist. And so during that, I was completely reliant on her. And I believed in that time that if I did not endure the experience with her, that I wouldn't be able to make it in Costa Rica. And I was very scared of that because my ego did not want me to have to go back to the States. But also, my ego wanted to take a damn break because she's been busy. And so I stayed and I projected and I judged over and over and over again until the day I sat with her. And in the spaces where I typically judged her, I saw her. And I saw who she was and I accepted it in that moment and I was freed. From that day on, I was freed. It's whenever the next property showed up. So the next property came, I stayed there for a year. And then the farm where I am now came. This is the ultimate. This is my temple. This is my queendom. This is my castle. It came. And at the same time came pregnancy. And not believing that I could handle or hold all of this, I invited in another woman. I invited her into my castle, hoping that she would support the mission, but instead she felt she had some authority over the castle. And I recognized this, and I was like, "You cannot be here. This is not how this is going to go." And she left, and that was my first smear campaign. And come a year postpartum, again, remember I'm learning this as of yesterday. A year postpartum, oh shit, I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I'm thinking, I can't handle this all. And there's lots of growth that's coming, but can I do it all? And I saw a woman who had a beautiful awareness for the illusions in the matrix, and we aligned in that. And she also had a good following. I'm learning this as of yesterday that I saw this and I felt that she was the one. And I truly believe this because I'm so incredibly grateful for where I am right now. And this awareness that I have, it is freeing me from a huge karmic pattern. And so I invited her into my castle, and the invitation was confused with authority. And with all due respect, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been holding space for people for 6 years. I've been managing big properties and doing all of this on my own for 6 years. Nobody has helped me financially, anyway, which is all of our stress. So let's be honest here. No, it's not about money, but it's about money. Because if you can't fucking pay your bills, then you have nowhere to live. And that's scary, especially whenever you know that this is your mission. So I've been doing this and I thought, okay, this is my moment to collaborate with a powerful woman. She comes and we are back in business. This is part 2 of episode 1. And this is how I'm going to be doing things because I have a 2-year-old and she needs her mama. So I'm going to be splicing things up just as they come. And today is a big day and so many things have happened. Last night was a very great time for me to process and go through everything that was happening and to find my contribution to it, because if I'm going to be the Oracle of Shadow, I have to know my own fucking shadow to the core. And this experience is helping me recognize that. So what I have done, I have claimed the projection in someone else, which means if I can see that in them, then it also lives in me. I projected onto this person and said, "You're projecting onto me a wound that you have. I did not cut you, but you're bleeding all over me." The truth is, I then, when she threatened, I decided that her wanting to change my queendom was threatening my ability to hold this castle and this queendom. And when that happened, I got protective. I could have handled this with so much more grace. I recognize that now, and when I think about it, I'm like, oh, damn it, because you know what's going to happen? What happens with everything karmic is you have to go through it again. So me recognizing it, huge one. It's a huge way to break a loop. So I see it now. I see my contribution. I see my wound. I see my trigger. I see my ego. That means next time it comes back around, I can make the choice that I'm learning from right now. What I'm deciding to learn in this present moment is where my wounds live. Give them a voice. Comfort them. Tell the ego, look, you protected her. This is great. We're doing all these things, but our mission is peace. And the only way through peace is to not react in a trigger. The only way to peace is to not match energy. In the moment, what I could have done differently was recognize this person believes that they have authority over my queendom, and I need to accept the misalignment because I know now, I know, I didn't a year ago when I decided to invite to this collaboration, but I know now my power. I know what this land holds because I removed my own fear from the experience in the last year, and I'm able to see clearly what this place is meant for, and that's for the residency. It keeps coming to me. It's like a halfway house. You're halfway out of the matrix, you're halfway into your new life. So this is where you come, and it's a safe place to land. It is going to be full of mirrors. That is one thing I know without a doubt. I've never questioned that. The mirrors here are insane, and if you are not interested in that truth, if you are not interested in seeing yourself in that depth, you are going to project blame on others instead of going, I'm the problem. It is me that needs to change how I view them and accept people for where they are. I know these things. So I saw the wound, I saw the projection, and instead of seeing it and going, hey, it seems that we have misaligned, and I'm recognizing where I invited you into this space, which could have seemed like giving you an open door to authority of how it's governed. But I've been doing this for years, and you've been doing it for months. So, what you have experienced through the couple of people who have come through here is trauma bonding. I did say these things to her, but I should have said it in a different way. Is not my reality, and is not the reality, and it's not the truth of Seva. It's your truth. And you matched it with another person's truth, which gave it validation. And instead, I said these things, but then I kept defending and defending and defending until it got to a place where my boundaries were bold and loud. I don't need them to be loud. I don't want them to be loud. I've been loud my whole freaking life. My family was loud, the yelling, the defensiveness, all of that. I'm not interested in that anymore. So I had to recognize this. And even though I'm so firm on that, these are my boundaries, I also recognize where I opened that door and I said, hey, come in and help me govern this place. And maybe I thought in the moment that this was going to be a beautiful, supportive mission. But the truth is, if I want to be real, raw, and serious with y'all and super transparent, I saw a beautiful woman who has a very strong gift of talking to people and sharing depths with them in many different forms that I just don't have. My people are in a smaller group. I don't believe in a lot of things that a lot of collective does, but I still respect that and I still honor you for where you are. If you want to believe in astrology, you go, girl, but it's not for me. So I'm not going to talk about it. If you want to believe that you are part of the planets and the collective energy, you go, girl, but it's not for me. And I still want to talk to those people though. And so I saw this and I saw this beautiful moment to go, we do align on things. We align on that the matrix is full of shit and we have all of these other beliefs together. But when it came down to it, we didn't align on the foundation, especially what we're doing here. And it was in this last year, whenever I started recognizing more my power, when I got a little bit further from birth, which was my birth from my actual baby birthing, but also my birth, I started to feel my power more. I started to recognize that I love working with mamas and I have a gift for it. That's my medicine. And here I am working with a maiden who doesn't understand this, who doesn't understand what it's like to be a mother. Not blaming her, I'm just calling out exactly what is being shown from patterns. And I shifted, I changed, I evolved. And I said that this is going to now be a place where people share houses and it's full time versus just coming in for a retreat. And so whenever I presented that and I laid it on the table with excitement, like, hey, you're going to have 2 housemates starting December 1st. Oops, I shouldn't touch my screen. It felt like a shock to her system. And those are the words that she used to me is, this is a shock to my nervous system. I feel like you're taking away my sovereignty. And in that moment, I should have heard her because it was her truth. But instead, I just went, not owning that. This is not news to you. We had already discussed this is not news. But anyway, what I did instead was I just walked away and I didn't even acknowledge it. That is where she's telling me that she doesn't feel heard. okay, my shadow work is going, yeah, but you need to take care of your own shit. That's your decision if you don't feel like sovereignty is yours. Is that right? Yes, it's my belief that we're responsible for our own energetic hygiene. We are responsible for everything that we decide that we feel about others and believe about others, because it's always a projection of ourselves. It's always a judgment of others. And we want people to change for us to feel better. Same. I was in it. So this unlocked this reality of, okay, I got defensive. I saw that 3 different times now that I've lived in Costa Rica, I've outsourced my power because I didn't believe that I would be able to carry everything that I was holding, everything that I knew that my mission was. I thought, in that time, in that moment, in that version of myself, I can't carry this all. I need to help. I need to outsource. I need help. And I didn't want it from the man in my life, because I was in a wound that said that he cannot help me, because I felt my story was that he did not support me during pregnancy and postpartum. But the truth was, which I have learned in the last few months, that my sensuality had been turned off completely whenever I decided I was going to be celibate. And then I went into creation mode, made a baby, got pregnant, did all of that. Then I decided I wanted to turn off my intimacy, because those two things are layered. Sensuality, intimacy, those go together. So instead I went, okay, I don't feel safe. I'm going to turn this off, which meant for him, he felt like he couldn't come to me. I'm recognizing all of these things. In the moment, no, my story was I'm a victim of being in a partnership with someone who cannot love me, who cannot touch me. My feet hurt, my back hurt, and he doesn't want to massage me. Sure, we're both new parents. That is some shit to handle. We both could have done things differently. I do not blame him, but I do recognize now in myself that I have to be in touch with my sensuality, because I do want another partner. I want a partner who loves on me and I can love on them, because right now I am still processing the fact that having sex with someone was easier than holding their hand and being raw and sensual with them. That intimacy is scary to someone like me, who had been protecting myself over and over and over since I was 2, and the first time my body clenched up and I felt violated, that clench never left until just recently, when I started doing physical shadow work, when I started working out these tense spaces in my body. Then all of this stuff came to the surface. Physical shadow work and spiritual shadow work cannot be separated. You cannot elevate fully without the other, one without the other. So here I am. I am birthing this podcast from the last smear campaign, who the same situation occurred. I pulled her in because I didn't feel like I could hold my situation. I didn't feel like I could hold this legacy. When she came in thinking that she had authority over it, which I take responsibility for, I had to shut it down, because it was not aligned with what the space is. And I am responsible for the space. That is the bottom fucking line. I'm responsible for it. And I get that. And I love that. And that is my mission. And I can hold it. Now I know that. And so I had to direct her out. It's the same exact situation, just happened again. And now it's happening all the same, because I needed to see this for myself. If I'm going to be the vision of myself that I have, with long white hair, sitting on the porch talking to people about deep stuff and giving them information with love and compassion, I have to find that within myself. That in the moment, whenever someone says to me, "You have taken my sovereignty from me," I hear them with their wound, not with my wound of, here we go again, same old shit. Why could she say this? I've been completely honest with her. She knew that we were turning into a community. If she doesn't want community, then why is she here? And then I just go, okay, I've shut down from that. I'm not going to have that conversation with you. I'm not going to entertain it. And then it just continues to feel more and more like betrayal, because I'm actually feeding her wound versus recognizing it and allowing it to spill over and recognizing that I can hold it. Is it my place to hold other people's wounds? No. But can I do it? Yes. Why? Because I'm holding my own wounds. And the more I highlight and illuminate my wounds and how they're influencing and running my life, then I can hold other people's. So I am, again, incredibly grateful for another teacher coming into my life. I pray that there's peace from this, but I also have no control over that except for on my side. I can embody peace and have peace and gratitude, and it's okay if I'm not met with it, because her story of me is hers and it's real. Now I have to be in my own story of who I am and how I want to look and show up for others. It's deep work. It's deep, deep, deep work, and it's karmic. It's so multidimensional. This is not the first time that we've done this together, and yes, we decided that we were going to come together in this timeline and learn from each other so we could elevate. The difference is we could have made a better decision, but there are no what ifs. It is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And whenever karma returns to me, because it does, because it always, always does, because why? It's a frequency. So the frequency I was in when I made the decisions to not hear someone's wound and instead shut down from my wound and to project that into her projecting. See, it's all cyclical. Then I created a frequency where that will magnetize back to me. And in that moment, I have to decide then, am I going to recognize this for exactly what it is, which is this person, it's all of it, what I just explained, all of that. That's what I have to, how I move on from here is how I show up today in the presence of the chaos, the digital warfare that occurred.